Hey everybody, this is Cresso, and I'm here to talk about another interesting topic, and I'm going to talk about the news. Yes, your local news and your major media outlet. I'm going to talk about that. I am definitely aware through the years that there's a lot of clips on different places on the web, for example, that talks about the media. A lot of conspiracies, how the media is being controlled and all that stuff. But and I'm aware of that, and I used to watch that stuff. But my take on it, I'm creating this clip because you see, I got a different take on things about the news, how the news is being used, and who has power. Okay, who has the power? You, the viewers, or the news? So I'm gonna definitely express a little twist. Okay, I don't want to sound like a conspiracist, but I have a plan. I have something that I wanted to, something I want to share to everybody. About changing the media from the ground up. Okay, I'm going to start off with me growing up watching the news. I used to watch the news religiously. I used to watch the 5 o'clock news, I used to watch the 10 o'clock news. I kid you not. It was one of the things that I used to look at the clock. Oh, 10 o'clock, I used to watch the news. And I'm like, I didn't really ask myself why I'm watching it at the time. It just basically was programmed to watch it, Then I used to read the newspaper. Like, I remember I used to bring the newspaper in high school. During lunchtime, I used to read the paper. Obviously sports and other stuff, but I used to read the papers every single day. Now, some of my clips I talk about, I grew up in New York City. Okay, New York City is like the one big media circus of itself. So I used to read the newspaper, watch the news every day. But then I was, during the time I used to read the paper, I used to have certain vibes, certain feeling, after reading it. You read in the paper, right? Certain things, for example, I'm going to share some examples now, okay? I used to read stuff in the newspaper while I'm in the train, right? I used to read stories like this. You got certain gang members in New York City, for example, right? It's been like one of those big topics that you have certain people hitting other people, certain gangs. You got some people try to join a gang, do some initiation stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. And you read the paper, you see what's going on, right? And it kind of keeps you out on the lookout. And then the newspaper will talk about, it'll give a description. It'll give a description of a group, of a certain ethnic group. Okay, let's just follow me here, everybody. So it'll give you like a certain a breakdown. Gangs, certain kids, a certain ethnic group. They give a description of how they look like, all that, right? And you got some cases, you got some of these kids come there and randomly attack people in the train. Either that or people getting attacked by some of these kids through, some of these kids use these box cutters to slice people's face, all that other stuff, right? Now I'm going to share to you how I felt. After reading that, after I read that stuff, I developed a thought in my head. that I see certain kids that look a certain way, right? Kind of a little bit of a profiling thing, right? I felt uneasy about certain kids and a particular ethnic group. I was amped up. I was ready. I was ready to attack if I need to. I wasn't the type of person that I'm just gonna allow somebody to come and attack me and I'm just gonna stand there and cry. No, I'm going to attack if I have to defend myself. That's the feeling I had. But when I saw, again, I want to emphasize, when I saw certain kids that look a certain way, okay, and an ethnic group, certain ethnic groups, okay, yeah, I was amped up. So I was releasing stuff outside. I was releasing, like, I was just creating my own world just because I read something in the paper that basically talked about blah, 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 suggested different things. Even though stuff did happen, okay? But again, I was amped up. I felt a certain way about certain people. And it took a while. It got to a point that after reading a newspaper, for example, in New York City, some of the stuff, like, I realized that the title, the front page of the newspaper kind of gets you sucked in. But then I started reading some stuff, and I realized that, excuse me, I realized that a lot of stuff is just juvenile stuff, the stuff that I read in the paper. And I had to ask myself, finally, after reading so much stuff and I felt a certain way, and then I want to also mention, I was having my own stuff going on in my life, right? And at the time, I wasn't happy about life. But it's funny that I read the paper, I watched the news, okay? And then I get this excuse, I gave an excuse to myself that, you know, why do I read the paper? Why do I watch the news? Oh, I just want to be aware of what's going on. Most people, not all, will think that way. I just want to know what's going on. Okay. Just want to know what's going on. So yeah, I felt a certain way, but then again, it took me to be honest with myself. I had to really ask myself deep down inside, am I getting something out of reading the newspaper? When I read the stuff that's in the newspaper, or I watch the news, I used to ask myself too. I used to watch, I'm going to be open here, everybody. I used to listen to the satellite radio while I'm driving a lot. I used to listen to these major media, whether it was a conservative channel or whether if it's a liberal channel. And I realized that even that time, every day I watch, it's the same pattern. It's like a replay. I'm watching a replay, instant replay. But it took me going into myself, and I had to ask myself a deep, serious question. Am I getting something out of this in the long run? And I still, I felt in a certain way, I'm like, not really. But I still didn't get it because I still kept watching. I still kept watching, reading newspaper and all that stuff, right? I used to listen to the radio, the local radio and the news, like in the morning. You get up, some of these local radio stations talk about some funny stuff, like prank phone calls and blah, blah. That's hilarious. I used to crack up laughing so hard. But then there was other stuff within that. I'm like, I realized that bright and early in the morning, just bright and early, you just got up, starting the day, right? You're driving, right? And I realized I'm feeding myself drama. I'm literally feeding myself drama. But I was sucked into it. I just thought that, that's just how it is. But I have to constantly ask myself these questions through the years. Honestly, I had to. It took some, let's put it this way. It took kind of some sort of soul searching to myself. Again and again, I ask myself, what am I getting out of this? Do I feel good about myself? Do I feel good about people? Do I feel good about life? Do I? And I got to the point, and after reading the papers, the ridiculous headlines in the paper, and see how they basically suck you in, all these suggested ideas, just to get you to read. Get that nice, fancy, stupid, dumb title and headlines. You got a photo of somebody that's out, like, look kind of shocked, and you kind of, I want to read it. I want to see what's going on. It's like, I had to say to myself, man, you know, I really like drama. I was really creating my own world of drama in a different way. I didn't feel good about life. I had feelings about this world because at the time I didn't know who I was. And I'm saying to myself, how the heck I got here for all these years? And, you know, I'm reading certain things, and I felt a certain way about certain people based on what I watch in the news. I was somewhat racist. I was racially profiling. That seemed to be a classic thing in New York City. I used to feel a certain way about cops. A lot of stuff. White collar crime. You think everybody that's wearing that nice monkey suit, that 3-piece suit, you feel a certain way about people on Wall Street. You know, the whole thing about this, how people just racking in all that money. And then back then you got these mass protests around the country, the 99% versus the 1%. I was sucked into that. During that time, I think it was back in 2008, 2009, that's when I was like slowly withdrawing myself from watching the news and reading the paper. I stopped. I remember it was a transition. There was a point that I literally stopped reading the paper altogether. It was during the mass protests around the country about the 99% and 1%. I'm like, I was starting to feel a certain way about people. Again, like I just gave you a description. I had a certain feeling about people that work in Wall Street, right? We got this whole thing about the scandal and all that stuff, right? We just don't trust Wall Street, right? You got the things about cops, okay? All this has come from the news, okay? You got things about cops, police brutality, right? We got drama. We got all kinds of stuff. And between that, gang members, the unemployed, you know, got the classic thing about that. It talks about the news give us statistics about how many people out of work. The job growth is declining. Then it goes up, it goes down. People losing jobs, so you feel a certain way. I'm like starting like, wow, man. It's like I just feel so hopeless, man. It's just, but I was sucked into it. Reading and hearing the garbage day after day. I did it religiously, everybody. I did. But it took me. I made a decision to withdraw myself from not reading the paper. I mean, I could read the paper, but I have to ask myself this question. Is it serving me? Is it doing good for my spirit? Is it? No. So don't confuse. I don't want you to think that I'm some sort of religious faith and if I read the paper, I'm condemned. No, it's not about that. It's about basically creating a life that you prefer. It's about taking control. I stopped watching the news. I stopped watching these ridiculous liberals and conservative channels on the satellite radio. You got one guy, I'm not gonna mention name, you got one guy on a conservative channel scream his lungs out every damn time, make himself as whatever. It's just, that person's just observing a particular paradigm, just like anybody else. You know, but the person is just, you know, making his grandstand on his show and yelling. blasting people up, calling people pinheads and blah, blah, blah. I guess the word pinheads, I guess I kind of reveal, you know who I'm talking about. But it's not just the conservative channel, it's the liberal channel. See, I was getting, it's like both different markets, media market. I wasn't getting anything good. And not just the radio, the paper, or what I would see on TV, but the internet. I used to watch news on the internet. I stopped that too. Oh, wow. I stopped that too. It's not, I realized that the news is not saying anything good about the world. Do I want to live in that world? No. What I'm going to do about it? That's the question. What am I going to do about it? Well, first thing I did is that I created a different world, and that is start from within me, for example. See, within me, I created my world. I created the world that I prefer. I'm able to shift. I'm able to shift into a place, into a state spiritually where I want to be. So I want to say this to everybody. This might burst the conspiracist bubbles. People like to read the conspiracy. I read up a lot of stuff. Yes, I heard this. Yeah, you got the secret clubs, these powers that be, these unknown clubs, whatever. I don't know, whatever you call it, the Illuminatis, the Masons, or whatever. These whatever group that you basically hear, or you take on this situation, you accept it that there's somebody orchestrated the media, right? And the media is going to tell you things what you want to hear, right? And you feel like you have no power, you have no control, right? And you feel like, wow, what are we going to do, And I just want to say this, I just want to say this. We all make the news. Every one of us. We make the news. You see, the idea of a TV program, okay, a program. You see, in my human paradigm clip, okay, I describe everybody as programmers, okay? You are a programmer, okay? You are literally a program without the certification, without going to school, or without having a computer in front of you. You program, you're a programmer, and you get programmed into the idea what the news suggests. Doesn't matter if it's the TV you watch, doesn't matter if you read the papers, it doesn't matter if you listen to the radio, the drama first thing early in the morning, for example. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't. The thing is, everybody, is that the real powers, okay, the real powers, the real one, the people, the ones that's orchestrated the major media outlets and the local news, for example, is you. It's you. Every single one of us. That's it. There is really no secret group that's basically, excuse me, that's basically orchestrating the news. No. The news suggests for you to take on a particular story. See? The news is doing its job. You program it. You are the programmer. That's right, everybody. You are the programmer. It's kind of like it kind of makes me think of this movie Tron. Anybody that watched this movie Tron? I'm talking about the original one, for example, back in the early 80s. Yeah, you're the user. That's it. And those programs, they're doing your bidding. So the news, basically, my friends, they're doing your bidding. They're giving the things that what you want. So that is basically my twist. compared to the, a lot of stuff that we see about how the media got the control and we have no powers. No, that's not true. That's an illusion that you fall under. It's a game that you're playing. You're taking on that other suggested idea that you have no power, you have no control. Yet we do. You're the user. That's right, you are. It's quite easy to flip to basically create a new media from the ground up. Oh, it's very easy. It's very simple. I don't care what goes on in this world. It doesn't matter. It's about the focus. It's about basically, everybody, see, I gave you an example of me, of how I made a decision within myself that I had to ask myself, what am I getting out of watching this stuff and reading this stuff? And do I feel good about life? Do I feel good about myself? Do I feel good about people? Okay? Now be real with yourself, everybody. Let's not go with the excuse about, oh, I just want to know what's going on in the world. Let's just keep it real now. Ask yourself that question. How do you feel about life? How do you feel about other people? How do you feel about yourself? Just keep it real. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, everybody. I may glance at the news, okay? Glance, but there's no comparison to before, or none. I cannot even tell you when I glanced at the news. I honestly, I probably, if I'm watching TV, there's some TV programs that I watch, but it doesn't have any control over me. I'll watch certain programs, you know what I mean? I might glance at the news about sports briefly, but it doesn't have no hold on me. Like, I don't allow it, okay? I don't. So yeah, this is something that I basically had to say to myself. Is it serving me? Watching the news and taking it in so much, what they're saying, the ideas it's throwing at me, is it serving me? And I want to say this. Since I don't read the paper religiously every day, for example, or I don't watch the news, right? My life has been great. Yeah. I don't use that excuse about, oh, I just want to know what's going on. I'm perfectly fine. And I'm going to emphasize this. Where do I get the idea that I just want to be aware? Where do I get that idea from? The program. Yeah, the program. It's only suggesting to you for you to watch it. You don't have to watch it, but it suggests for you to watch it. So again, the one that has the power is you. Not no secret group, not some big wigs that own these media channels. None of that. No, it's you. I'll give it to you like this. You invest in money on buying a newspaper, right? Right? You are literally watching the news. You are helping the media. You are profiting the media of the old program. The ideas where the media's at, suggesting all the garbage. You are profiting it. You are basically paying them. You are literally paying the media to do its job. You created it, and you paying them. You think the media just you think these big channels, these big network channels, you think they just came out of nowhere, right? And you think that, oh wow, it's like what we're gonna do is the invasion of the media. Oh my gosh, help us! No, we put it together. We did. I could go further, but I just want to focus more on the news in all different levels. We created it. But I'm going to say this to everybody. Even though the news is a suggested idea, the media, what they throw at, It doesn't matter. It could be whatever. It could be about anything about the crime rate goes up, the unemployment, whatever. Celebrities about that sometimes the media got the thing, especially on the internet, get the look. You know, you gotta look like the person that's wearing that in order to basically be attractive. You know, there's all those things are subliminal. And you know, I'm not just it's not about celebrities. It's the whole stuff. It's the whole kit and caboodle. Everything is subliminal. It's a suggested idea. There is nothing outside of you that has any power. Okay, I'm just emphasizing this in this clip. You are paying the media to do its job. Okay, the gossip channels. You know, your favorite celebrity gossip channels and all that, right? And those nice little magazines that you see on the supermarket aisle. You're paying them. Without you paying them, and you put in any attention to them, you think that they're gonna be around? No. They depend on you. The media depends on you. Yes, it does. The ratings, how much money you put towards the newspaper. If you go on the internet, they got analytics. Okay, they look at your behavior, how you browse, and if you stay, let's say, at a particular website, any particular media website, they basically looking at it. Okay, boom. They go through your analytics. They want to know exactly what's your behavior, how you browse the web, and then you click on it. Each click, basically, right? Each click, it's like this. They have to advertise. They have to advertise whatever, right? So they put something there to click on that, whatever. Let's say it's a media network. You click on that. Yeah, they gotta pay for it. But the thing is that you are paying them. You are. I mean, I could do my best to break it down bit by bit about this, but you know, the thing is, everybody, you create the whole media. So, you know, media has no power at all. The only thing, like I told you, the only thing it does is just suggest things to you. It suggests for you to basically gossip about this person. It suggests, like, let's say, for you to, you know, interact with other people and say, yeah, this person's too fat. Oh, this person's too skinny, like bones, whatever. Oh, this person got all this makeup. Oh, I can't stand these people in this certain ethnic group. Why they always doing this and why they always doing that and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it's this throwing thing, and you take it in. That's all you do. You take it in. You're the user. You take it in. So let me just step outside and let me explain this further, just in case maybe the things that I'm saying to you you may not be able to understand why I'm saying all this stuff. You see, I'm gonna go a little further. This applies to everybody. When you hold on to certain belief systems, this all starts from you now. When you hold on to certain belief system about yourself, okay, let's just start from you. You don't feel a certain way. You feel a certain way about yourself, but it's not good. You know, it's not gonna do anything for you in the long run. Right? You see, everybody, it just takes that. It just takes that for you to feel like a victim, for you to hold on to stories, old stories about yourself, right? And let's just say you hold on to old stories about yourself, right? You feel a certain way. You're just a moody, angry person, right? Right? Okay. Now, you're driving, and you're in a bad mood. Right? Your life is crap, right? That's how you feel about yourself, right? So you're driving, right? Somebody cut in front of you, right? Okay? Keep in mind that the fact that you're basically placing yourself as a victim, you are attracting more things that you basically is not going to serve you, but you're basically playing a game of being a victim, okay? Because your life is horrible, right? So you're attracting things, right? Certain things. So somebody cut in front of you while you're driving, right? You get angry, right? then boom, you got road rage coming up, right? So you got road rage, right? And then guess what? Guess what? Somebody from their phone is recording this. Oh wow, I'm gonna record this, right? It's a network. So this is a classic network that goes on a day to day. So somebody record this, right? And then it sends it on the news, right? So the local news, for example, they'll pick that up. Oh yeah, somebody road rage. Oh my gosh, look at this. This person's crazy, right? Boom, 5 o'clock news. 5 o'clock news. So it networks. It suggests that some people are crazy out there on the highway. So we again, and it spreads. It spreads like wildfire. Then you feel a certain way, right? Right? It spreads. That's how it works. We take it in. We take in the idea what the news say. Now, keep in mind, everybody, sometimes the news try to be thorough about the person's background, but the news, I don't care how, whatever, I don't care what local or any major media, the news will never define who you really are. They're only cropping a small piece of you. That's it. But the news don't know who you are. It doesn't. Are you a road rage driver? Really? Not really. I mean, it's just an idea that you took on that. You basically shifted into that paradigm to be a road rage. But beneath that, you're not a road rage driver, excuse me. You're not. You just made a certain decision. You made a certain decision at first, like I told you. You place yourself as a victim, right? You feel a certain way about your life, right? You attract, right? You're driving, you attract things to happen, right? You don't like people, right? And then boom, certain things happen, right? Just give an example, everybody. It's just how it works. A lot of you know that. But, like I told you, see, you're a user, but I like to say it like this. You are a programmer. You understand that, everybody? You are a programmer. Okay, you're a programmer and you get programmed into the idea. Do you understand? All right, that's just how you do it. I did it. I took on everything what the news say. I believe all the garbage. Yeah. Here's another one. Let's see here. Let's say here. That's a classic one, right? Somewhere in the middle of America, nice town, right? Perfect. No, it's like Pleasantville, right? Oh my gosh! Breaking news: a gun shootout. What happened? Like it's all over the news, everywhere, right? It's breaking news, right? I mean, this is something this is unheard of in that town, in that state. Oh my gosh, where did the world's coming to? A lot of you would think that way, right? Guess what happens? Here's another classic one, everybody. We got a copycat from another town all the way on the other side of the country. How did that happen? Is it a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence, everybody. It goes like this. It's synchronicity. It connects. You see how the paradigm works? Why do you have copycats? I'll explain it like this. Because the news, what you see in the news, you see the copycats that saw the situation that happened at Pleasantville, for example, right? See, they are programmers too, the copycats. So they saw the news, they got programmed into the idea. So they're gonna say, hey, you know what? They did, we should do the same thing. They took on a suggested idea and boom, we got a copycat. And then boom, we got another copycat somewhere on the other side of the country. And you know what? Because of that whole paradigm, what a lot of you think? What comes with these things? Fear. You got fear, right? You got fear. Okay, keep in mind, all these things are suggested to you to be afraid. You got that, you got college shootouts, you got all those things, right? That's what it is. It's fear. But you feel a certain way. That's the thing. See, that's where it boils down. You feel a certain way. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Okay? So you feel a certain way about school, for example, right? College, right? You feel like going to school is not safe, right? Some of you have your discussions at home about having all these plans. Oh my gosh, is Billy gonna be safe in school? Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? So yeah, the news is gonna replay it. And that's when the major media comes in. It will replay that tape over and over and over and over. Again, everybody, it's doing your bidding. It's feeding off of the stuff that how you feel inside. That's what it does. So you really, so after everything that I broke it down to you in this clip so far, now be honest with yourself. Do you honestly believe that there's some secret club basically orchestrating the news? Are you gonna literally continue to play that game on yourself? Are you gonna play that game on yourself to believe that story? I mean, if you like that idea, if you want to stay as a conspiracist and feel like you have no power and you want to discuss about this and you're going to be stuck, like you don't know what to do, okay. I say this in my other clips, you know, especially about the human paradigm. It is about self-discovery. It is a process. So yeah, these are the things because you're playing these games, everybody, because you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. But when you rediscover who you are, let's say you connect with consciousness, you're not going to be observing this stuff. The stuff will automatically change because you know why? You know why the media will change? It's because it starts from you. It starts from you, like I was telling you an example early on about the person feeling like a victim and he doesn't like his life and the whole thing with the road rage. You see, when you start to feel better about yourself, when you develop a different mentality about yourself, you will attract the opposite. You will attract, what I mean is, you will attract something that's going to serve you. You're going to synchronize things. Everything connects. There's no coincidence. So yes, you are going to create your world. I created my world from within. I know what I want. I will align to the things that I prefer by creating from within. The news have no power over me. I don't care what it says. So yeah, all the stuff that I talk about, the copycats, all the stuff, you want to know, you think that people you think the world's going crazy, right? Yeah, and then you got overseas news. You got the international news. That's another one. You feel a certain way about certain people in certain countries, right? Right? You develop it's like you have certain feelings or you're prejudiced towards somebody that live in a particular country. You all know this, everybody. Deep down inside, beneath your ego, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's going to suggest that idea. It's going to suggest that idea. Here's a classic one. I will call out a certain part of the country. For an example, it's going to suggest that certain people that lives in the Middle East are a certain way, right? So you got here, a good old land here in America, right? So, you know, not everybody, but a good number of you going to feel a certain way about certain people that live in certain parts of the world, like the Middle East or other parts of the world. You might feel a certain way about people in Russia. The same thing in people in Russia and the same thing in people in the Middle East feel about here in America. You see, their media outlets is also suggested ideas to them too. See, they are programmers just like you are programmers. Okay? They are programmers, they get programmed into the ideas. And that's it. You just get programmed. That's what it's called, TV program. Do you get it, everybody? TV program. That's it. It's not just the news, it's anything that what you buy. But I'm not focused on being a consumer. I'm just talking about the media, the news in this clip. But even the idea of being a consumer, it's the same thing, everybody. None of these companies, these corporations, these major media outlets has no power over you. I don't care if it's Google, I don't care what channel, I don't care if it's what internet service, it doesn't matter. The ones that has the power is you, everybody. Is you. And here's my plan. This is what I envision. Okay? I'm going to share this with everybody. My thing is that it's basically create there are some local like startups, let's say news channel, but let's just create something that's from the ground up. Let's just basically create a new major network that basically talks about inspirational things, that basically focus on the opposite. And you know what, everybody? It takes you to do that. It can't just be built on its own. This goes together how you change your mentality about yourself. Everything boils down to you. And that's what I'm trying to say in all this clip. Everything boils down to you. So you having a different mentality, you creating a brand new media you just create a brand new media. So yeah, you just change the whole thing up. You're not going to be observing the idea of gossiping, trying to knock someone down because their body look a certain way or how much money they got. You're not going to be focused on certain things because you're going to basically align yourself what you prefer. So you're not going to pay attention to these petty situations. Your outlook on the world, yourself and the world and everybody else is going to be different. It's a decision making. I have to give myself an example because I want you all to know that, it was my doing. It was my doing. And it took myself to stop watching the news, to change things up in my life. Myself, me alone. Why? Because I am power. You think because I'm any different than you? I'm not different than you. But yeah, I just want to say I can relate to everybody. Yeah, I believe in the conspiracy stories so much to the point that there's nothing you could do. But yes, no, there's a lot of things we could do. You're the programmer. Just reprogram the whole daggone media service. That's it. Get off your lazy tail and reprogram it. That's it. It's simple. Just think of ones and zeros, seriously. But the ones and zeros starts within you. You see, it's you. You gotta reprogram how you feel about yourself. That means shifting spiritually within yourself out of these old ideas about yourself. And if it's about upbringing or whatever it is, or something that's holding you back that you feel, just reprogram yourself. It is not hard, everybody. Your own ego mind is going to suggest that, okay? Because we program our own ego mind to suggest those things. Everything is a suggested idea. It's going to suggest to you, say, no, wait a minute. We can't go outside the streets. I want to feel safe. I want to know what's going on. You know what I'm talking about, everybody. I mean, yeah, I watch the weather. I'm gonna be honest, I watch the weather. I kind of tune out the fear base of the weather. I watch the weather, but then I said to myself, you know what? I've been through a lot of storms. I said to myself, you know what? Within myself, you know what I did? I meditated. I meditate when I'm traveling. It's gonna be an easy path when I travel. And you know what? It works every time. I'm not kidding around. It works every time. That's what I do. I would not give in to fear. So everybody, I want to inspire you to do the same. Get off your lazy tail, okay? Because you are all consciousness now. Reprogram yourself. You want to change the media? It starts within you, everybody. There's no big secret. There's no difficult thing to do, whatever. It's very simple. Because I realign myself with consciousness, I'm able to see past the structure that we put together. That's it. All the situation that you see around this world, honestly, I don't take it seriously. I don't. You might think I'm crazy. You might think I'm insensitive. I don't care. Because see, the thing is, because I know who we are. I know who you are. All of you are consciousness. I don't care if you're Chinese. I don't care if you're someone from the Middle East. I don't care where you're from. You have a decision to make. You can either stay where you at, or you could get past these structures that you put together, that you program, okay, and create something different. And it all starts from you. All right, so you know it's a decision. You could either stay with the conspiracist route. You feel like there's someone holding the keys and you have no power, right? You could focus. You could stay there. Or you, like I said before, like I say it again, you could create something different. And everything starts from you. So, I don't know. I guess I could say this, and you're the one that's the powers that be. Everybody, you are. The entire world population is the powers that be. You see, that's the truth. You could take what I'm saying or leave it. So, all right, everybody. I think I cover a great deal on the news and all that. I might make a clip on the being a consumer, but it's gonna probably be the same thing like I'm saying on the news. You know, everything is a suggested idea. You don't have to live life in drama. You don't have to be a copycat. You don't have to. You don't have to feel a certain way about people and certain ethnic groups because a story that's been presented to you. You don't have to take that idea, everybody. You could take something. You could take a different story, something that's going to serve you. Okay, something that's going to make you feel good inside, sincerely. You could take that story. Okay, so you don't have to take off the garbage. Okay, so you know it's in your hands. You know. Okay, everybody, it's been fun doing this clip. It's always an honor to inspire everybody. It's always is. So that's just why I came to this world, to inspire everybody. Okay, everybody, until then, I will be back with another interesting topic. Take care.